Member for Richmond.
Mr. Speaker, rural outmigration is having a devastating impact in communities throughout Nova Scotia. Many of our students leave to go to university or community college and do not return. One of the important tools in providing students with summer employment, as well as allowing them to work with local nonprofit organizations, has been the Student Career Skills Development Program. This program partners with not-for-profit organizations to create career-related summer jobs for post-secondary students. The jobs will be distributed across the province based on population and unemployment for each county. That's what's stated on the government website. Speaker, this year Richmond County is being allocated 9 student positions, down from the 15 positions in 2009. My question is, will the Minister for Rural Economic Development explain what change in population or unemployment took place in Richmond County to warrant such a reduction?
The Honourable Minister of Economic and Rural Development and Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, through you, I will, with respect to that summer employment program, it's been based on, we base it on unemployment. So when a member asks a question about a particular area or region, it's done on a comparative basis. So we will look at all the regions as a whole and the unemployment in those particular regions, and they would get a rating based on. What we've done this year with that particular program, Mr. Speaker, is that we have increased the amount of funding in that program. However, having said that, the demand for that program has increased enormously. And if the member would like, I'd be more than willing to have a look at Richmond County on an individual basis.
The Honourable Member for Richmond, on your first supplementary.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's actually been some interesting developments this year in where positions have been granted under the Student Career Skills Development Program. For example, in Queens, it went from 1 position in 2009 to 9 positions this year. Shelburne went from 8 positions in 2009 to 17 positions this year. Lunenburg went from 12 positions in 2009 to 30 this year. And Antigonish doubled from 6 in 2009 to 12 this year. And Mr. Speaker, in case you didn't notice, these are all NDP government-held ridings. Mr. Speaker, my question is, will the Minister for Rural Economic Development explain what population or unemployment changes took place in Queens, Shelburne, Lunenburg, and Antigonish to justify the significant increase in student positions under the Student Career Skills Development Program?
The Honourable Minister of Economic and Rural Development and Tourism.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, through you to the member opposite, I've already said that the criteria for summer employment is based on employment rates in particular regions. There's no politics involved here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that may have been the way of past governments. I can't speak to that, but certainly for this government, politics does not play a role.
The Honourable Member for Richmond, on your final supplementary.
Yes, I find that funny too, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, I asked the Minister to provide us with the stats that he's relied upon, and I would hope that he will provide the House with that to show the sudden increase in unemployment rates in Queens, Shelburne, Lunenburg, and Antigonish that this program is based on. I'm sure that's something we would all want to know. Mr. Speaker, having it cut in Richmond County from 15 to 9 is truly a double whammy, because not only does it make it more difficult for university students to find employment, it makes it that much more of a challenge for the not-for-profit organizations that rely so heavily on these students, especially during the summer months. Mr. Speaker, 2 organizations, for example, that have been told no by this minister is Telil, a community cable station which is so important to the social, cultural and economic development of our county, as well as St. Peter's Lions Marina, which runs the community station in St. Peter's, as well as the marina at the entrance to the Brador Lakes. So my final supplementary to the minister is he prepared to review again the statistics on population and unemployment in Richmond County to hopefully increase the amount of student positions being awarded to our county this summer?
The Honourable Minister of Economic and Rural Development and Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, through you, for the information of all members of the House, this year we created 535 summer job placements. That's an increase. I think last year, I think it was 400 and something. Mr. Speaker, I will say this, and this is for information for all members of the House. If they know of anyone that's applied for summer employment and it's been denied, there is an appeal process, and I would advise everybody to utilize that process.
The Honourable Member for Richmond.
Mr. Speaker, the Strait Campus